Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Online Classroom. Today we are going to discuss about the functions in C programming. So let's go to the topic. So before going to start about the programming, at first we have to know what is functions. So in C we can derive a large program into the basic building blocks. So this is known as the function. So it means suppose if we have a large code, and if we want to break the code into several blocks, then we can say it acts like a function. And before going to the details programming, at first we have to know what is the function syntax. Mainly, the function contains the set of programming statement enclosed by the second bracket open and the second bracket close. So it means suppose a header of the function is here, and inside this header, after this header, one second bracket is open and the second bracket is closed, and between this second bracket open and close we have to write all the things what we want. Okay, so we can say this is the body of the function. And the third one is that function can be called multiple times. Okay, so and it basically provide the code reusability concept and modularity in C programming. Next part is that the advantages of function in C. It means if we wants to know the what is function, obviously some advantages must be there. Okay, so the first one is that we can avoid rewriting the same code. Okay, suppose in the loop concept, we already know that some piece of code, if we want to iterate multiple times, then we have to use the loops. But suppose some piece of code is required many times according to our need, then we can just write this particular piece of code inside a particular function, and if we call that function again and again, then this code will execute, right? Second one is that the function, here it is written that we can call C functions any number of times in a program and from any place in a program. So it means in a loop we have to write this piece of code inside that particular loop only. But if something is written inside the function body, inside of then we can call that particular function from anywhere. So this is the advantage. Okay, and now third one is that we already discussed about the basic building blocks. So this is also one of the advantage of this of the function. So we can divide into multiple functions in a large programs, right? And reusability is the advantage, we already know it. And the function calling is always overhead in a C program. Okay, so basically there are so many advantages, but we just understand all the things when we go to the programming part. So before going to the programming, we have to know what is the function, means the function properties basically. So here mainly in C programming there are three parts. First part is your function declaration, second one is your call the function, third one is your definition, or we can say the body of that particular function. Function declaration, in many books it is called the prototype declaration basically, and function call means it is a calling part. From the calling part it will directly go to the body part, or we can say the definition part. So here simple structure is written. Suppose if you go to that image basically, so this is called the header. This is called header. So it means we can say it is a declaration of that particular function. Okay, now this int means integer is a return type. After that there is a heading, means it is nothing but a function name. So we can write any kind of function names here. After that say first bracket open and first bracket close. So inside this this is void. So it means actually there is nothing as input, but if required, we can give multiple inputs. So it is called the parameters or arguments. Okay. Now we already discussed in the previous slide that if we wants to write something inside a function, we have to write inside the second bracket open and the second bracket close. This is called the body of that particular function. So this is the body of that particular function, right? So basically it is the structure of a function, how to write a function in C program, right? So next part is that the type of the function. So before going to the details, we have to know that the types means basically in C programming or in any C, C++ or Java or Python, there are basically two types of functions are there. One library function is there and another one is the user defined function is there. Library function, it means in C programming, library function is suppose printf. Printf is an example of library function, and why we write or understand the printf is a function. So after printf, we have to write open bracket first bracket open and close, right? So between this, we may write anything like scanf, right? So scanf, there is also open and close. Suppose main function is also a predefined function, we can say it is a library function. So where in C or C++ or Java, where there is a first bracket open and close, we can say this is a function. Second question is that the function is fine. Function is fine, no problem. But what type of function is it? Is it a library function or is it a user defined function? So library function, this kind of function is called a library function, which are already defined inside a compiler. Okay, and user defined function means we can write any kind of function. So suppose if we write online classroom, okay, online classroom is it may be a function. So if you write ABC, then it may be a function, or XYZ also it is a function. Now the second question is that it is a parameterized or non-parameterized, and the return type is there or not there. These all the things we have to understand through the programming concept only, right? Now this is also what I already told you, that one is parameterized or non-parameterized. So what is the structure? Basically, if you look at the structure of if each and every type, so this is suppose void and the function is a basically name, void is a return type of that particular function, and there is first bracket open and close. Inside this there is nothing, so we can say function is a user defined function whose return type is void. It means this particular function returns nothing, and this particular function also, it will not take any argument as an input. Second one is that the function is there, same thing, a function is there whose return type is void, right? So it means this particular function returns nothing, but it will take a single parameter as an input. Third one is that function is the same thing without parameter as an input, but return type is an integer number. Fourth one is that the same thing with the return type is an integer and also take one integer number as an input. So basically, if we just see the structure of a particular function in C programming or C++ or maybe in Java, all are same, all in three programming concept. This part is same basically. So first one is your return type. So this is right, there is right return type. After that, the name of the function, this name of the function, if it is a user defined, maybe ABC, XYZ or online classroom, whatever it is. After that, there is a first bracket open and close, and between this there is a argument passing. Argument passing, if there is nothing inside this, if there is nothing means like this, then we can say without argument or one single argument or multiple, or the types of the arguments, right? So this is basically the types of the function in C programming. Now let's go to a simple programming concept in C. Okay, now this is your header files. After that, there is a void print name. Okay, void print name means if you look at it carefully, this print name is a user defined function. You can write any kind of function name. After that, this void is a return type, means this particular function is returns nothing, and there is only pass bracket open and close. So that's why this argument, this function without argument, right? And this, there is a semicolon. Look at this carefully. There is a semicolon is there, and this actually declared globally. Right? Why it's declared globally? It means after header files we declare this. So it means we can say this particular piece of code is a prototype, of that particular function, right? So after that, there is a main function, you already know, and inside this main function, so this is open and close of a main function, right? So inside this main function, suppose we there is a printf is there, so it means hello, only hello will print. After that, print name, it means it is the calling part of a particular function. Now from the calling part, it will directly go to the body part, and in C programming or in C++, each and every time we have to write the body of that particular function outside main. So it means your main function start from here, ends in here, and after that we have to write the body of that particular function, means what is inside print name function. So from the calling part, it will directly jump to the body part of that particular function, and inside this world will be there. So that's why your output will be hello world. Okay, fine. So this hello from this printf, right, and this world from this function calling. Okay, so this is basically a simple example how to write a function, and what is your prototype, what is your calling part, and what is the body part. So this is basically the prototype, this is the calling part of a function, and this part is the body part, we can say, or we can say the definition, right? Now same way, there is this example 2 is there, but in this example we can see some operations are there, right? So so basically what is our objective is that we have to add two numbers. It is also a simple, but add two numbers using function. So it means void sum. So sum is a function name, void is a return type of that particular function, and this is called the prototype. Okay, after that the main function, and this is basically a simple message to the user, the sum of two numbers, what we want to do. After that, this sum function is a calling, so we can say it is a calling part. So from according to the function structure, from the calling part it will directly go to the body part. So it means now it will directly go to this. So it means we can say it is a body part of that particular function. So void sum, inside this sum two integers are there. Now enter two integers numbers. So printf is also a function. Look, there is a first bracket open and close. Scanf is also a function. There is a first bracket open and close, and this printf and scanf both are library functions, and the definition of the printf and scanf is written in stdio.h header files. Okay, after that again there is a printf is there, and a plus b. A plus b means whatever the user gives the input, the value of a will be addition with the value of b, and it will shows you the output. In that way the function will work, right? So suppose if the value of a, what I want to mean that if the value of a equals to 2 and b equals to 3, obviously this printf will be 5. A plus b equals to 2 plus 3 equals to 5, right? So this is basically an example for a function without argument and return value. So it means this particular function, there is a without return, so each and every time void is there, and also in that function there is no argument as an input, right? But if we write the same code in different way, right? So suppose if we wants to add two numbers, fine, but a same code with argument and with return value. Oh, sorry, without argument and with return value, right? So it means here the int sum, okay, int sum is there. So it is, this is called the sum function, and the argument return type is integer, right? And this is we can say it is a prototype of a function, so it means it is it's just declared globally, like same all. Okay, now void main is there. Inside this main, same concept is sum of two numbers, and result, now there is a problem, means there is a change basically. Results equals to sum, results equals to sum, right? So it means this sum returns an integer type value. Obviously, when from the according to the structure of the function, from the calling part, basically it is a calling part, right? From the calling part, it will go to the body part of that particular function, but after working this body part, again it will back to the calling part again. Again it will back to the calling part. So basically, this is the structure of a function calling. Okay, in C, C++, and Java, all programs are same. This concept is same. What I want to mean. Okay, now as this sum function has an integer type value will return. So after working this, means enter two numbers A and B, same way return A plus B. So if the value of A equals to 2 and the value of B equals to 3 according to the user, return A plus B means 2 plus 3, it means it is nothing but 5. So 5 is an integer type number, so that's why it will return 5 in the same place. So that's why the value of in that line basically value of result obviously 5, right? Now if we print the result part only, so it means your output will be 5, right? So this is an example of a without argument but with return type, right? Now there is another example for your better understanding. Okay, now there is an example with a square. So we want to find out the area of a particular space. Okay, so suppose if it is a square basically, so area means we have to just multiply the two sides, so according to the mathematics. Okay, now square is a user defined function, and the floating point, it will return a floating point number, right? It will return a, suppose it will return a floating point number, maybe or you can say it is an integer, maybe whatever it is, but in that case it is a floating point number. Okay, now the area of a square, it is a just user message, and after that this is the calling part, and this is the prototype of a function, right? And from the calling part it will directly go to the body part, and the body part must be outside main according to the function structure. Now again this is a float side. Suppose I just declare this side is a floating number variable, floating point variable, right? And the length of the side, so it is, suppose if the length of the side is 2.5, okay, and suppose and it will return side into side, it means it is 2.5 into 2.5, right? So so it is nothing but 5, right? So it is nothing but 5.0 basically. Why it is 5.0? Because this is also a floating point number, right? So from this part, again according to the structure, it will again back to the calling part. It will again back to the calling part, right? Means from the calling part it will go to the body part. So this is basically the body part, but after working the full body, it will back to the calling part, and area equals to square. So what is the value of the square now? Value of the square is 5.0, right? So now what is the value of area? Value of area obviously 5, right? So after that, if we'll print this area, output will be 5. Now in the same way again, same examples, suppose the same examples but in again different way. So it means, suppose if we wants to sum of two numbers, same example, right? If we wants to add two numbers, but there is no return type, but with two integer number as an input, or we can say as an argument passing. Okay, now this is a prototype. Now A, B and result, there are three things are there, fine. Now scanf AB means user just give the input value of A equals to 2 and here the value of B equals to 3. Enter two numbers, fine. After that, there is a scanf function. From the scanf, suppose I enter from the keyboard A equals to 2 and B equals to 3. After that, there is sum A comma B, right? Sum of A comma B means value of A equals to 2 and the value of B equals to 3. Now from the calling part, it will go to the body part, and now there is a mapping. Void sum int A comma int B. Now this A actually maps to this A and this B actually maps to with this B. Now value of A equals to 2 and the value of B equals to 3. Now after that, 2 plus 3, it means it is 5. Now suppose if anyone's write, suppose void sum, suppose int x comma int y, and this portion all are same, but x means up to suppose %d all are same, x plus y like this. Okay, so then what happened? Same way, what happened? Because we are just calling this function with AB, but here only the names are changed. No issue, no problem. Then these two, this A is automatically mapped with this x and this B will automatically map this y. Now the value of x equals to 2 and value of y equals to 3, and after that again the output will be same, right? So in that way we can write a same program in some of different forms basically. Okay, now there is another example for your better understanding. There is the average of 5 numbers. So it means here two integer numbers as input. Now if the question is the average of 5 numbers, now we have to take 5 numbers as an input, right? So this is also a prototype. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 integer numbers without return type, so that's why it is void. Again enter the 5 numbers A, B, C, D, E like this, and after that again we are calling A, B, C, D, E means 5 numbers. With the 5 numbers we are calling, right? Now from the calling part, from the calling part, it will again go to the body part. Same way, this A map to this B with this, C with this like this, D with this like this, E with this E, right? And after that I am just average and this all additions after divide by 5, nothing else. Okay, now your output will be like this one will print. So this is an example of with argument and without return type of a function. Now the next thing is that both are there. If both are there, why the both? Same code. Suppose that I am writing the same code, sum of two numbers, but again in different way. So it means here is also integer is there, sum is there, two integer numbers are there. So this is a prototype, means sum is a different function which will return an integer type value and it will take two arguments as an input, right? Again, so A and B two numbers, so suppose value of A equals to 2, again the value of B equals to 3. After that we are calling the same function with AB means 2 comma 3, sum. So this particular code here in this case, this is same as sum 2 comma 3, right? So these two again from the calling part it will go to the body part, and these two with map this a and this 3 will map this b, and again return a plus b, it means 5, and from this again it will back to the calling part, right? Calling part means again here. So what is the value of result now? Result equals to as here. So what is the value of result? Result equals to 5, right? So in that way we can write this code. Again there is another example to further find out the number is even or odd. Okay, so it means when we want to find out a number is even or odd, obviously a concept of if else must be there, right? Now going to check whether a number is even or odd, enter a number is n suppose, and after that flag equals to even or flag equals to, flag is nothing but an integer value, and the first time the value of flag equals to 0. After that even underscore odd, suppose it is a function name and n is there. N means it is a user input. Suppose if the n equals to suppose 5. Now if you look at the prototype of the function carefully, it will take integer type integer return, it will return an integer type value, and it will take one integer type as an input. Fine. Okay, from the calling part again it will go to the directly go to the body part, means no if else checking. This is most important. If else checking part will not there. From the calling part it directly jumps to the body part, and obviously the body part outside main. This is the concept. Okay, now even odd int n, so it means suppose the value of n equals to 5, so here is also the value of n equals to 5. Now there is a checking mod 2, it means it is nothing but it will take as a reminder. So if we divide this 5 with 2, and it will if double equals to 0 means obviously it is false. Okay, and obviously it is false, so that's why it will go into the else part and it will return 0. So 0, this 0 is nothing but an integer number, and according to the function concept again it will back to the calling part like this. Now what is the value of updated flag? It is 0. Okay, now suppose at the first time value of flag equals to 0, again it is rewrite as 0. Okay, in that case now if flag double equals to 0, the number is odd, if the else the number is even. So obviously this is true and your number is odd will print. Now if we give the value of n equals to 4, so in that case the value of n equals to 4 now, and 2 means this is now true, and return 1, right? Now what is the updated value of flag? Here the updated value of flag in the next case it is 1. So that's why again this condition is false, again it will go to the else part and the number is even will print, right? So in that way we can write the functions in C programming, and there are basically with argument or without argument, with return type or without return type. There are so many types are there. We just discuss all the types, right? Now in the next phase of the video we will discuss about the recursion. Okay, so thank you everyone for your patience and keep watching. Thank you.